Hello adventurers! Last year I finally attended my first LARP event. And not just any, but Conquest of Mythodea, the largest LARP in the world. I know this can be intimidating and overwhelming, so to make this first adventure as easy as possible, me and my companion chose to stay at the Garrison Inn, also known as the Tent Hotel. So if you've been thinking about entering the world of LARP and might want to stay there, here are my honest observations. The good, the bad, and the ugly. We arrived on Monday and could easily drive right up to the Tent Hotel. There we were greeted by the family that runs the inn and could drop off all our belongings. You enter through a reception area with a public table and a counter, and we were asked to confirm if we booked a single or a double tent, and then we're free to choose one of our liking. When we arrived, all the major structures were already set up, and they were just working on a few more details. The difference between the double and the single tent is not just size but also shape. The single tent is a round shape gathered around a central pole, while the double tent is more rectangular in shape and has two poles, offering you not just a lot more space, but also guarantees you that you're able to stand up, which I don't think would be possible in the single tent for most people. When it comes to choosing a tent, we opted for one in the middle of the pack and for one that has a bright fabric. There are different color combinations available, but we thought that the bright fabric lets in the most light and makes it the most comfortable during the daytime. Inside we found 2 cots ready to be set up and 2 modern plastic containers filled with a blanket, a sleeping bag, and a lamp. Essentially everything you need to survive the night. To make it more comfortable, we brought our own pillows, and we're not even the only ones with that. The tent itself is made out of heavy-duty canvas, and the floor was covered by a brown tarp. We opted to set up the beds on one side of the tent and have storage on the other side. As we had a very warm and dry experience at Conquest, the inside of the tent was very hot during the day and pretty cold during the night. That is one big difference to sleeping in a modern building, that you really feel the temperature difference between day and night. And you might want to prepare for that accordingly. So we brought thermos to sleep in, which weren't strictly needed, but makes it a lot nicer if you do have to get out in the middle of the night. Beyond giving you a place to sleep and store your equipment, the Tent Hotel also offers a few other amenities. Most notably, you do have separate toilets just for hotel guests, which isn't just much cleaner than most public toilets, but also much closer. In addition to that, there was also a communal tent with power, fridges, a kettle and coffee, as well as running water, although we were told this is not drinking water. Having all of these modern amenities is definitely one big difference to most other camps I've seen, and a huge advantage. The other big advantage is that you don't have to own anything that is provided. Everything is already set up for you, and it's basically move-in ready for you, so all you have to bring is your personal equipment and your clothing. One more advantage that we didn't even consider before being there is that it is a very easy place to meet fellow adventurers. Almost everybody who stayed there was either completely by themselves or as a couple. And so naturally you form conversations, meet other people, and sort of build your adventuring party. That was a very nice, unexpected side effect of staying at the Tent Hotel. And generally speaking, it is very open to international players, with the rules and everything you need to know being available in both German and English. At the entrance of the inn, there's also a message board, and the family running it hosted some dance lessons during the week. One major difference to all the other camps you can stay with is that the Garrison Inn is right at the edge of the Tross, the city of Conquest. This is where you find all the vendors, taverns, and most guilds, offering you a way to spend your coin and pick up some quests. One more thing you find in the Tross are all the food stalls. Since a lot of international travelers are staying at the Garrison Inn, a lot of them went out to eat every day. But since we are quite used to staying outdoors and seeing that there are fridges available, we went out and bought some supplies that we cooked once or twice a day over a gas cooker that we have brought. In this setting, nobody minded that we used a modern piece of equipment, but there were also some people that cooked everything they ate over a fire. But it is worth noting that if you do have any kind of food restrictions, you probably want to bring your own. And if you're not bringing any food and just plan on eating out, make sure you have enough real-world currency. In theory, you can pay with your plastic card, but very often the network is just not working. Now, everything so far makes the Garrison Inn seem like the perfect place for you to partake in Conquest of Mythodea. But there is one major drawback worth mentioning, because right next to the Garrison Inn is Bad Nordersby, a tavern and bathhouse. And while the bathhouse is very nice to attend to if you get the chance, and we saw a very spectacular fire show there, there's also always a bard playing day in, day out. This turned my long rest into no rest and gave me a serious point of exhaustion. To alleviate this problem, I bought earplugs and sleeping aids to make sure I get some rest during this adventure. And now the final question is, would I stay at the tent hotel again? As I first encountered with the world of Mythodea, the tent hotel was definitely worth it. It removed the biggest barrier to entry, buying a tent and excessive amounts of gear, for an activity I wasn't sure if I want to continue it. However, while it's the perfect landing pad for your first adventure, the natural progression for most people we met there and ourselves is to join a dedicated camp for the full experience. While the Garrison Inn comes with a community of international and newer players, is not integrated in the bigger story like the other camps are, which offer more opportunities for quests and give you a sense of progress. And if this message provided you with some guidance, make sure to share it with a fellow traveler and hit the like button.